I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League, using my over 20 plus years of coaching experience and doing numerous other things in the old football-y world. I give you a different insight and actually explain to you properly what's really going on instead of the nonsense that you normally hear somewhere else. Now, there's a couple of things happening here. I'm going to talk about Ruben Amorim a little bit because I'm going to bring up a lot of that in my part two of one of the coaching courses that I'm doing right now. And this is one of the things that sort of happens in coaching in the world. You're seeing a lot more now. When people are having a good run of form with whatever club it was, like Ten Hag, I'm doing great at Ajax because he fits the system and they get it and they're doing the same thing. Or Ruben Amorim, he's got his players in the system and he's got time and it looks great and he's built it and he's ready to do what he wants. What they struggle with, because they're not really good coaches, right? And I'm going to tell you that straight off the bat. You're seeing it now with Pep Guardiola because he's not a really good coach. He's a good coach, yeah, but not a really good one. What does that mean? What that means is they can only do their thing. They're only a paint-by-numbers coach. They can't do that thing and modify it a little bit with the players they've got to make a team until they can do what they really want to do. They can just do this. This is it. This is all they know how to do. And if they can't do this, they fall apart and they crack and they break apart and nothing works and it all comes crashing around them. So Ruben Amorim's going to be a bit like that until he can start getting the players in around him, just like you're seeing happen at City with Pep. If he can't do his system and exactly what he wants, he can't just go, right, we're going to have two centre-backs and we're going to do two people in front of that, have a little block of a square block in front of this and then try to get some stability in our team to try to move things forward and do something. They can't do that. They just do the thing. This is the thing. We got to do the thing. You're not good enough. You don't have the players. And when you don't have the players to do the thing, this is what happens. You didn't have a great game against Manchester City, but you got to win. Okay, it wasn't a great performance. It was an average performance. It was all right. You'd never look like you're going to rip them apart. They never look like they're going to rip you apart, but you got to win. And then what you need to do is make sure you're tough to beat and you're not open and you don't make silly mistakes. Now, I'm going to show you some silly mistakes straight away from this corner. Yes, there's a silly mistake. It's a free kick. It's not a corner. Right. Look at the difference here of these players marking. Okay. What you can see, these two, they're not marking. This is marking. Do we see how they're all body tight? They're all pushing and shoving and they're actually shoulder to shoulder. That is 2 yards away from him. You can see the difference, the gap in the feet there. It's 2 yards away. That isn't close enough. He needs to be shoulder to shoulder, touching him, stopping him. Why is that important? Because if you try to shove me or move me, you're not doing it. Okay, my shoulder strength is going to be there and I'm going to make sure that you have to try to run around me, not go move. You're not going to move me. It's not going to happen. So what happens when this comes in? Watch this. As this corner, I keep saying corner. You see that little step there? Because he's not touch tight, now he's putting his arm out. He can't, his body isn't there. His body, it can't stop the run. Now he's trying to use his arm. So now this guy just gets a free run at the ball because the defender here isn't doing his job properly. By the way, I've got to point this out as well. That's how bad United are. Like, at least he's trying. This guy's like, nope, you can do what you want, mate. Off you go. I know I was right next to you, but now you just carry on and do what you want. Oh my God, that's awful. So when the ball comes in, of course, it's just a free run now because he's not marking him properly. And all he has to do is try to make contact. As the flight of the ball comes, can you see he can adjust his body shape now? He wouldn't be doing that. He'd still be fighting with the player here. He'd still be shoulder to shoulder. This is simple, basic marking. This is something that if you'll take... people say, oh, my under-10s and all that. In between your under-14s and your under-18s, you'd make sure that this was absolutely nailed on and perfect. If you're not, haven't got players that are doing it at that sort of range, they're not good enough to play football. But if you're doing it at the Premier League level, this is just embarrassing. Look, that guy's just stood there. Yeah, I was marking someone, but he's legged it. I mean, this is shocking. Little bomph, goal, easy, 1-0 down. Now all the shape system, player arguments you want to have about, Rashford's not good enough, this player's not good enough, that player's not good enough. I'll tell you what's not good enough. The simple marking on set pieces. You can do that. It takes about 7 minutes to coach that. About 7. That's it. Maybe 10 if they can't hear properly. And what you normally do before the games is the day before the game is all the set play stuff because it's fresh in your mind of what you need to do and how you need to do it. And basically going on the routines of what they do and you're matching up with what you're going to do to defend them and how you're going to try to score on them. Yeah. But basic marking, not good enough. Be better. Let's get on to the next goal. Before we get on to the next goal, as I always screw it up and have someone else to talk about like normal, I'm going to show you a little bit of Man United playing here, right? So they're trying to put pressure on the ball, but clearly there's none. So the problem when you've got no pressure on the ball is you have to start dropping. He's not, obviously. These guys, he is. He's spotted the danger. He's starting to drop, but you have to have pressure on the ball. And if you don't, what ends up happening is players can take their time and put long balls in over the top. Now, nothing comes from it. I think there's a shot, and I think Anana saves it or whatever. It doesn't matter. But you can clearly see the actual, they haven't got this system. They don't really know the understanding of it, of when there's no pressure, of what the next line does. Do they end up helping, or do they drop, or what goes on? You can see they're just a little bit too easy to get through and transition through. And if you're going to be like that, you're going to really struggle in the Premier League. If you're that easy with one ball, you can go straight over the top. And the other reason I'm bringing this up as well is because of the person at the back. I was going to say Johnny Evans, but it could be Johnny Evans or Harry Maguire. They are not fast enough. They are not strong enough to have balls in and have to chase back balls over the top. So you're putting yourself in two danger spots here. One, because the ball's easy to play over because there's no pressure. And two, if it does, you're in trouble. So you don't want that thing to happen. So you've got to make sure you're doing that thing. Or your whole unit is dropping back a little bit more and you're not pressuring up too high. So, yeah, they've got so many issues when they're trying to play this system. It's going to be an interesting watch. We've got to do the good with the bad. Here's an example of them kind of getting it right. They go on, nothing ends up coming from this as well. But Bournemouth, poor execution of trying to get it away, hits onto the three players. It's just a case of bad pass, but at least they've got the pressure forward. At least they're actually doing the thing. They're trying to do the thing. So when you show something good, you've also got to show it when they're actually executing it correctly. But if they get it wrong more often than not, with these players at the back, they're going to have more problems than they currently are having. Unfortunately, this is a pen all day long. I like to say it when it's not a pen, but that's a pen. He's cracked him down. Nowhere near the ball. Mazraoui's a player. He's not one of those players I really pay that much attention to. He's consistently average, which is sometimes all you want in your team, and then you can start building. He's had a couple of good performances of late, but you can't go, okay, so he's had 3 good performances, that means he's at this level. You need at least a 10 or 15 game block window to actually start going, yeah, he's good. But how you get that 10 or 15 game block window is you consistently be good. And he's been, consistently be okay, and he has. One little bad performance with one little mistake to me isn't the thing to go, oh, he's terrible, get him out. Wouldn't do that. I'd keep using him because I think he might be an asset eventually in this little Amaran system that they're trying to play over at United. It's a penalty. Who cares? Yeah, they scored it. Like, generally, who cares? It was a penalty. So this all breaks down from, I think it's Kobe Mainoo right here, selecting the wrong pass, not understanding he's got to get the ball out of pressure here. You can see this little pressure pocket of 1, 2, 3 players squeezing the play. And he has to get out of this danger as fast as possible. Now, if you actually really want to pass the ball to this little cat, what you have to do is put it into this zone here, because that's the area where he can pass it over there, even if you can't get it to safety down there. What he kind of does, watch this, stab ball, hitty thing, too slow on the ball, and he's done. Now, not only is that pass and the execution of that absolutely shocking, right? The technical aspect of it. He's taking too long. He selected the wrong motion because he's hitting, scooping the ball instead of actually trying to pass the ball, all that. What's also is there is no cover for anybody in this United team to make a mistake. So when you do, you're basically letting them run through your whole team because, well, the system doesn't sort of dictate for this. And it might not necessarily be the system. It might also be the lack of total quality of these United players make it so apparent that if there is a mistake, there is just no recovery. Because I'm not 100% keen on Amaran's system, and I do know what he's doing, but there's also a rule we have in coaching, right? Well, I do, but the other people don't because they're idiots. You don't actually know what you think you know. What does that mean? Well, you think you know what Amaran's system is, but until you actually sat down with him and talked it through on a day-to-day basis and understood exactly what he wants to put forward, you don't know. You might have an idea, you might have a concept, you might have seen his teams, but it might not be the exact way that he wants it to run. So we don't actually know what he really wants to do. Kind of got the idea, but if this is it, he's in trouble. So as this moves forward, pass forward straight up from that. So this is perfect. Lost the ball. Ping. We're off to the races. And away we go. From the moment he's won the ball and he's got the ball straight up here to his forward and they're off on the transition. Fantastic. Away we go. Putting them under pressure. 1, 2, 3. Can we see that little sort of diamond there? Okay. We've got our right back. Well, that's right. Left back. Ugh. Yeah. Always get Dallo mixed up. Right. But this is the problem. He's not close enough to win the ball, and he knows it, which is good, which is actually decent, even though he makes a mistake here, because I'd really want him just to try to win the ball or foul the guy right here. That's what I'd want. Do him. take a yellow card, do something right there, because if he spins, you're done. What does he do? He spins, you're done. Gone. Now, they all try to, get back into shape and formation. But if you watch a couple of my videos this week, you'll see this point that I've been making, that the players in the Premier League refuse to go towards the football and they just let players run with the football. So this guy right now just gets to do whatever he wants. He ends up running over to here, down here, turn and then making a pass. And there isn't a single United player that puts him under pressure at any point or tries to tackle him. Watch. Everyone just starts running back into shape and running away from the football. Just running away from it. Just letting him do what he wants. When you start running with the ball as well, you start to get more confidence the more time you have on it and the less pressure you're under. You get more time to think, more time to react to what they're doing. So you do not want him just to run straight through your midfield with no pressure, no time. Look, off he goes. No one's even challenging. He just runs off. Body shape again. Look how bad that is. He's facing that way. Just letting him go that way. Can't turn. He can't get back. He doesn't have the legs. And he's just off. Look, bump. Cuts in front of him. And he just gets to run all the way down here into the space. Now remember that guy that was just trying to tackle him there, right here? When he ran back a bit and up to here. He kind of cut him out. Instead of him going and pressuring the football, he's run off to go and chase someone else for some reason. Instead of going towards the ball. Now, that is probably the only person there that could have stopped this attack after that Harry Maguire spin. Is right there. He could go towards the ball and help slow it down. But he's chose to go out wide and mark a player over here for some reason. God, I know why, but you're going to get bored of me saying it. But there we go. Right, so as he goes over there, look, off he goes. Joggy. Forgets the football. This guy's nowhere near going towards the ball. Like, I'm not challenging for the football because if I do, I'm out of shape. If I'm out of shape, I'm going to get benched. I'm just going to stand here in my back 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to stand here. This guy's just chasing shadows for some reason. And watch. As soon as he stops chasing him, okay, where's he going to pass the ball? To the guy. Yeah, because there's no pressure on the ball. And what he should have done straight away was come in here and mark this play. Like, just mark the play. Just stand with him and just give time for the other players to come back and help out. So as we move it forward, look, no one's still going to him. And now he just splits the pass easily between the two players. Beautifully weighted pass. Just say, hey, go on, lad. Run on that and see what you can do. Now, when he gets into the box, you can see, look. He can see, hit that player there. Look, there he is. He can see him. Oh, he's looking at him. He can't see anybody because he's terrible at the defending. He can't see anybody because he's terrible at the defending. Right? Body shape. Let's just draw it correctly. If that's his shoulders there and he's facing that way, he should be there, facing that way, but back there. There. That's it. That's where he should be. Shoulders there, facing that way so we can see the ball and see the player. If you can't see the ball and you can't see the player, you're doing it wrong. So now he just breaks into the middle. Maguire panics and tries to close the gap. He's standing in the middle. He's still stood still having a picnic going, nah, I don't. I can see the man that's unmarked on the on the penalty spot, on the 12-yard spot there. But it's not my job to do it because I'm the left wing back and I just cover the left-hand side of the field. Like, that's honestly what I think is going through his head. It's like, no, that's not my responsibility. So now it's just a simple cutback and a finish. And United are down 3-0. Yeah, I can see it getting a little bit worse if it's going to get better at all for United. They've got to pick up some new players in the January transfer window. There's maybe 4 players on this team that I would have on any team that I'd coach. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.